In this video, let's take a closer look at one of the most powerful and emotional scenes from across the Spider-Verse, the clock tower moment between Miles and Gwen. On the surface, it might seem like a quiet, simple scene, but there's actually a lot going on beneath the surface. It's a moment where both of them are letting their guard down, showing their vulnerable sides to each other.
Maybe some things are supposed to be just for us.
That's a nice way to think about it.
It's just the two of them talking, connecting, and being real with each other. That spot, the clock tower, isn't just any random place either. For Miles, it's his thinking spot. It's where he goes to be alone and unwind after everything he deals with as Spider-Man.
This is a cool thinking spot.
Right? I mean, who needs a treadmill when you have the Williamsburg Bank building?
And here's where it gets really interesting. Choosing a clock tower wasn't just a random decision by the filmmakers. It has deeper meaning. If you remember The Amazing Spider-Man 2, that's the exact kind of place where Peter Parker lost his Gwen. She fell during a fight, and he couldn't save her in time. That scene was heartbreaking, and the image of her falling has stayed with many people ever since. So, having Miles and Gwen spend time together on a clock tower instantly brings that memory back. It's like the movie is giving a quiet nod to what happened in that older film. It feels like the directors included that detail on purpose, almost as if they're acknowledging what happened before, but also saying this time things might turn out differently. Throughout Across the Spider-Verse, there are several moments that subtly remind us of Gwen's fate in other stories. Even the phrase "Gwen falling for Spider-Man" carries two meanings. One is romantic, falling in love, and the other is tragic, falling to her death.
In every other universe, Gwen Stacy falls for Spider-Man. And in every other universe, it doesn't end well.
The movie plays with that double meaning on purpose, and the filmmakers definitely knew what they were doing. If you watched the trailers before the movie came out, you probably remember those quick shots of Miles trying to catch Gwen as she was falling. And even some of the posters showed scenes that made it seem like something terrible was going to happen to her, like history might repeat itself. It all felt like they were building up to a big tragic moment. But when we finally saw the film, those scenes didn't play out the way we expected. Gwen didn't die, nothing terrible happened in that moment. Instead, the movie used all that build-up to mess with our expectations, and honestly, it worked. We were all holding our breath, waiting for something devastating, but the filmmakers flipped the script. Still, just because nothing awful happened this time, it doesn't mean the emotional weight is gone. If anything, it might be a setup for something even more powerful in the next movie. I don't think Gwen is gonna die. In fact, I believe 100% she's gonna survive. But I do think the next part of the story will hit us even harder emotionally. Those scenes of Miles trying to catch her weren't just cool shots for the trailer. They were there for a reason. They were meant to make us feel something, to get us thinking, to build tension, and to hint that their relationship is gonna be tested in a really big way. It honestly hits really hard when you look at things from Gwen's point of view. She's not just being distant or cold, she's scared. She's surrounded by fear, especially when it comes to the idea of falling in love with Miles. In her mind, love could equal tragedy. She's terrified that if she allows herself to fall for him, something awful might happen, not just to her, but to him too. When she told Miles that in every other universe she's seen, Gwen Stacy always falls for Spider-Man and it never ends well, that wasn't just some throwaway line. That kind of thing doesn't just get said for no reason. That moment had weight. It makes you think about whether she's seen those universes herself, whether she watched different versions of herself fall in love with Spider-Man, only for it to end in heartbreak, or worse, death. If she didn't have strong feelings for Miles, she probably wouldn't have even brought it up. The fact that she did means she's been thinking about it a lot. It's her way of warning herself, and maybe even warning Miles too. It's clear that she's in love with him. That's not even up for debate. But she's struggling to accept those feelings because of what she knows, or what she thinks she knows. She can't fully embrace it, no matter how much she wants to. Some people might say Gwen doesn't like Miles that way, but honestly, that couldn't be more wrong. It's actually the complete opposite. She cares about him deeply. But fear is holding her back, fear of what might happen if she lets those feelings grow.
Hey, new guy must be in love with you.
Okay,
No,
whoa.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm very good at reading people.
not.
Who are you?
This romantic tension is so palpable.
If Spot gets more holes,
Will they, won't
he'll
they?
be unstoppable. We can't let him get to
Alchemist?
See? How can you guys even concentrate?
Now, imagine if Gwen had never been part of the Spider Society, if she had never learned about the Canon events and all that tragic Spider-Man fate stuff. I really believe that if she didn't have that knowledge weighing on her, she would have held Miles' hand in that moment. No hesitation, no fear, just raw, honest emotion. But because of what she's seen and what she's been told, she pulls back. The Canon events, those fixed points in every Spider-Person's story, are the only thing keeping her from letting herself be happy. But that's not the end of their story. It's just a chapter. I believe they're gonna fight back against that idea of fate together. That's why that clock tower scene is so important. It's one of the quietest, most emotional parts of the movie, but also one of the most powerful. It's just the two of them, alone together, relying on each other. And even though disaster and chaos are waiting for them down the road, in that moment, they had each other. Chances are, we're going to get a really emotional moment between them in the next movie. Whether it's through a heartfelt conversation, a powerful scene during a battle, or even one of them risking everything to save the other, the movie seems to be gradually leading up to a significant event of that nature. They've been dropping subtle hints all along that it's coming. The tension is there, the emotions are there, and if you've been paying attention, it's easy to see. Some people think the creators should make everything super obvious when it comes to Miles and Gwen's love story. But the truth is, they already have, just not in a super in-your-face kind of way. If you're really watching and not letting your own bias get in the way, the connection between them is crystal clear.
So, what do you think?
What I always think. You're amazing.
We make a good team. Yeah?
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be spelled out with no challenges, no tension, no emotional buildup. That's the beauty of a slow burn romance. The filmmakers definitely know how much people love the bond between them. You can tell they're aware because of all the little things sprinkled throughout the movie. That's intentional visual storytelling. We don't know exactly how it's going to happen or what the moment will look like when Miles and Gwen finally get together. Because yeah, most of us are kind of waiting for that. But whatever it is, it's going to be powerful. It'll be filled with emotion, because that's how their story has been from the start. And here's something really cool to think about: when the next movie drops in 2027, it will have been almost 9 years of slowly building this love story. That's huge. Most of the time, in movies, the main characters fall in love and get together by the end of the first film. But here, we've had 9 years of watching them grow, face challenges, learn about each other, and build something real. We've seen their strengths, their flaws, their bond getting deeper with every scene. And after all that time and effort spent developing this relationship, it would make no sense to just let it fade away or end in heartbreak. That's why I really believe we're heading toward a satisfying conclusion for these two. They've been through so much, both separately and together. And honestly, they deserve happiness. They deserve to find peace and love after all the chaos they've had to endure.